Hi all. So today what is the date? 25 dot 9 dot sorry 9 dot 2025. All right. So yesterday what we discussed about OOPS introduction. After that, class. So what is meant by class? We know simple terms. Class is a collection of variables and functionalities. You can say functionalities or methods, anything. But let me go to the PPT. Class. What is the definition? Class is a book definition is class is a blueprint or a template for creating objects. Right? It defines it's nothing but it's a common characteristics like properties and actions that all objects of the type we have. Suppose we have the properties and behaviors, right? Suppose, see now, this is actually class is nothing but a blueprint. Just a minute, guys. Just a minute, just a minute. Yeah, sorry guys. So we are discussing about yesterday in OOPS introduction after that class. So class is a blueprint. So with this blueprint, see now, suppose I want to construct a house. This is a blueprint. With the blueprint, we can't build the house. Clear? We need some objects. It might be iron rods, iron bars, sand, like cement, all these things. With that only we can construct the one house with the help of the blueprint, nothing but class. So what is here? So what is here object means to construct one house. It might be a living thing or not living thing. Suppose class is, let me take house. In the house, I need some objects. Let me take bricks. And we need, let me take integer as some pillars. Let me take 4. So these are all the properties of a class and close the class. And some methods also there. Let me write something door. This is one action. Clear? So class is nothing but combination of methods and properties. After that, so I would say it is a simply living and non-living things. Simply a real world living and non-living things we called object, and moreover it is a instance of a class. Clear? So what is meant by object means, simple terms, object is a real world living and non-living things is called simply object. And whenever you created the class, it will create the instance for the your house class in the memory. This is simple terms of object. After that, in a Java, object is a real-time entity. Object is a real-time entity created why we have to create this one, because of created from the class. For that purpose we have to create one object. After that we can create n number of object for the object for the class. Suppose, let me write, we can create the n number of objects to a class. Every object memory is completely different in the memory. Every object memory is completely different. Memory allocated at runtime, we can when we use a new code, memory will allocate. We have the one keyword, right? What is that keyword for creating objects? New. Whenever we create object for the class, then only memory will allocate. These are all the some points regarding object. First, we can create number of objects. Second, every object, like if you can create n number of objects, right? Suppose you created object name as something object 1. It has some different memory. Again, if you create one more object 2, in the memory it has different memory address. So every object, if you create for the class, memory is completely different. This is one point. And third point is, whenever you create the object for the class, suppose this is the house. How to create the object for the class? We know with the new keyword and class name and equal to one reference variable, otherwise object reference. After that, class name. Clear? So what is my class name here? House. In place of house, in class, in the place of class name, I give the house. After that, reference variable, let me give home equal to, this is one reference variable with new keyword. Whenever I took the new keyword, we have the 54 keywords in the Java. Among that, new is one keyword for creating object for the class. So created object. After that, what is my class name again here? Home. And followed by parameters. I mean braces. In that we have to give the parameters. Clear? This is how we have to create the object for the class. After that, whenever we create the object for the class, then only memory will allocate for this non-static things. Non-static, simply I can say members. What is mean members? In the class, whatever available, it's not excluding static, non-static variables and methods, then only it will create memory in the heap. It will allocate the memory in the heap memory whenever you created the object for the class with the new keyword. After that, so we can create the object with the new keyword. After that, what is that? JVM will destroy the objects using the process called garbage collection. We have the, actually it is a, actually we are not discussing this one. Garbage collection. Garbage collection on topic is there. In that, JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine will destroy objects whenever usage has done. We have created one object. Whenever we are in the case of not using this one, JVM will destroy this object. So we know the syntax of the class creation. This is the general syntax of the class. I mean syntax for object creating for the class. So let me go to the slide. Nothing but reference, not this one, object. So what is object means? It is a real world living, it is a real world living and non-living objects. So it is an instance of the class. It has own data and perform actions defined in the class. And suppose if you go to the second line, let me talk about instance of a class. What is meant by instance of a class? Nothing but the definition of the instance is, it is a instance like a single or unique memory allocation of the class. If you create one class, memory should allocate. That is taken care by instance. That represent the object physically with the specific value. Suppose bike. Bike has some properties. Bike number, model and color. So whenever you create the object for the class, so what is the object? Bike. What their properties? It is a bike number, model, after that color. So what is that bike will do behaviors? Start, move and stop. These are all the behaviors of the bike. So object means it is a real world, in a real world, any real world, living and non-living thing we call as a simply objects. It might be bike, non-living thing. Living thing, person. Non-living thing again, house. Object is a instance of a class. So whenever you create the class, it will give the memory. Whenever you create the object that has the own data and perform actions defined in the class. After that, in a Java, an object is a real-time entity created from the class. Suppose bike, car, dog, computer, bank account. These are all the real-time entity. Yesterday we discussed about why we have to take the real objects only in our program. Okay, we can create a number of classes, a number of objects for class. Suppose this is my class. I created with the home reference variable. We can create again with the different object also. Home, let me take one. We can create like this also. We can create n number of objects. Object for the class. Every address is different. It will allocate in the memory. So this is the syntax. We know we have to create the syntax for the class. Class name, object reference, new keyword, class name, creating for the object. This is the syntax. After that, so in this I want to say, suppose this is the object, right? This is one object. Okay, this is actually object created for the class. If you elaborate this one, this is a class name, and it is actually reference of the object equal to new keyword and constructor. This is actually constructor call, default constructor call. Class name, reference variable equal to new keyword and constructor. Okay, I will discuss this one after some while. Now let me discuss about reference variable. What is meant by reference variable in the Java? Reference variable. Okay, reference variable is nothing but in a Java it is a one variable that holds the memory address. Clear? It will hold the memory address instead of holding the data. Okay, reference variable is in a Java reference variable that holds the memory address of an object located in the heap memory, but it is pointing to where is the object is stored. This is one definition of the reference variable. Otherwise, another definition is it is a one variables, like the variables created by using the reference data type are called simply reference variables. Referred variables are created by using array, class, interface or enum. Okay, I will repeat again. The variables created by using the referenced data type. We have primitive, non-primitive and referenced data type also. Nothing but class. Called reference variables. Referred variables are created by using array. Suppose, see here example, array. This is we know how to create integer array. Integer square basis variable. This is one reference variable. After that, this is actually class. This is actually also class. String also one class. Why? Suppose example and e. How they wrote means example and the reference value e. Suppose, let me write here one instead of house. Let me write here example. Example. So what is the example here? Class name. Class example. And open braces, close braces. This is actually explanation. Class opened here, class closed here. And this is the object for class. Object for the class. Right? Now, what is E? See now, instead of home, I will take E. Equal to, example is the class name, E is the reference variable. After that, equal to new keyword and class name, nothing but default constructor call. Simple, remember class only. Now let me remove this thing. This is the object creator, right? Object creation. Let me copy this one. Let me paste here. Let me remove the constructor call, new keyword equal to, this is called reference variable. Understood? I will repeat again. This is the object reference, object for the class. Clear? This is the object for the class. It has some methods. Let me write some method name void m1. This is one method. Method has must and should body. Void m2. This is also one body. Open braces, close braces. So what is the members? In the what is the example? I would say members. These two are the members. In the class, open braces, close braces, it has two members. Two are methods only. And if you write variables also, it is valid. That whole thing we call as a members of a class. This is one member, this is one member. Both combination will call members of a class. Now this is the object creation for the class. Example is my class. Now what is the reference variable? Nothing but this is the object creation for, right? This only I wrote here in the place of reference variable. Let me remove one by one. Example, new keyword equal to semicolon. This is called reference variable. Clear? Then it will refer to one address where actually members available. Okay. So this is one reference variable. So what is the difference between primitive variable and reference variable? This is reference variable. We are known the things. Already it's the same like as a integer, right? This is one reference variable. What is the primitive data type? Let me write one primitive variable. What is the primitive variable? We have the primitive variable like integer, integral family, integer, long, float. These are all comes under primitive. Let me take integer and let me take q. Let me assign one data 50. Because if it is a whole number, that's why I took integer. This is a primitive variable. This is primitive variable we know. What is meant by reference variable? It will hold the all members of the class. It will hold only data. Primitive variable will hold only data, but reference variable will hold the members of the class. That is the difference. Suppose if you want means, let me go to the paint. Let me write here one primitive thing. Right. Let me write integer is equal to p equal to, let me assign one data 50 and integer, let me take q equal to 60. These are all primitive variables in internally, where it will store in the heap memory. Let me take this one. In the heap memory, it will take this is actually p. and in the P what it will store? 50. In the Q it will store 60. Q variable with the direct values in the heap memory. In the heap memory, it is a non-static, right? That's why it is a non-static. That's why it will store in the memory name as heap memory. In the heap memory, it will store the data like this. Clear? And with the direct values, primitive value with the direct value. This is the difference. Primitive value stores the values directly in the heap memory, but reference variable stores the reference of the object. So consider it is a non-static variable. Whenever you declare the non-static variables in the heap memory, it will store direct values. But in the case of reference variable, let me take reference variable example as class and string. String, let me write s equal to something ABC and semicolon, and let me write class name. What is my class name here? Example. Their object is this one. Example E, new example. Let me copy this one. Let me paste over here. This is a reference variable. Reference variable. See now, these two are the reference variables. Like this is the S is one reference variable, E is one reference variable. But in the memory, how it will allocate? Let me take a box. Let me take for this one, and let me take. So let me give here. Okay, let me take one more box. This is the address. This is also one address, and address. Let me take text. Okay. Let me take text. What is the reference variable here? S. S is my reference variable, and here one more reference variable is E. What, see here, in the string what is the reference variable? S. In the class, E is the reference variable. Now in the memory, it will take actually addresses 0 1 1 0 1 0 and 2 0 2 0. This is address of the reference variable E. So referred variables with the object reference. Whenever you are writing E dot non-static variable, E dot non-static method, then it will refer to the address of the object. So where is this address of the object? Then again it will go to there only. Let me then ABC, it's stored in ABC, right? It is address. In this address, members will allocate it. Here one address, here one address. let me write here data. What is the data? ABC. And so here let me write x comma y, something x. Where whenever you create an object for the class, whenever you invoke non-static variables, I mean one address, then it will go to the data, and whenever you call the one method, then it will refer to an object, it will redirect to members of the class. This is the difference between reference variable and primitive variable. Primitive variable stores the value directly like this, not like a it will won't refer the address. It will store the directly in the heap memory, but in the reference variable it will store the address of the address. It will refer to variable with the object reference. With that object reference, it will redirect to the data, same as a class. Based on this only, real time will work. How they are doing means, suppose this is the reference variable, right? Reference variable example. How I wrote this one? Simply I removed this one. This is the class type and reference variable. Class type and reference variable. Here like this one I give, but in the real time they will use like in the methods. Suppose let me take class, let me write demo, braces open for the class, braces close for the class. Now let me write one method, void, let me write small g et chi set class name. So with the reference variable hi dot, whenever we call this one, whenever you call this one, it will go to the address 001, it will go 01, it will go to the address, it will take the data, go to the address, it will take the data. Get method, hi dot get, then we have to, what is here, let me give here just 2. This is argument I am passing. Then this 2 will assign to this one, again it will go inside the block, this dot a, then this 2 will assign to this a, this is the super keyword, this is the one keyword, it will refer to the current class instance object. Okay, this and super keyword I will explain at the time of inheritance concept. Okay, now this 2, this number 2 will, this number 2 I gave this here argument. Listen this one carefully. This is the linking to reference variable. So simple, I created one class opened here, class closed here. This is my class, this is my class. One non-static variable, one non-static variable, one method open and method closed here. In the argument has it 2. This 2 will pass to the this method. Why? Because of it is a non-static method. We have to call non-static with the object. This is hi is one object, otherwise reference variable. This 2 will assign here, it will go inside the block, in the A place it will take, again I am reassigning to A, and this 2 will go inside this A. This is how execution like flow is going on the method. Suppose what I am trying to make a point based on this one, I don't give here